Yo, what's up guys? Jim Bro here from GeneticsAintShit.com, and today we're going to be talking about why genetics ain't shit. They don't make a damn whether or not you're going to make any kind of gains. I don't care. Ectomorph, mesomorph. I don't even want to fucking hear that shit, bro. You know why? Because I ate big, I got big, bro. You know what I mean? I'm talking PRs every day, heaviest I can go. You gotta lift big weights, eat big to get big. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Today's video, we are actually going to answer a question that has been, it's been considered the great debate among the fitness community, and it's, do genetics matter? Why do so many people think that genetics do not matter? So make sure you stick around to the end of the video, and I will kind of, well, not only give my theory, but I feel like it's probably really the answer. I feel like I've got a pretty good idea on why people are so adamant about saying that, and I will be sharing that with you by the end of the video, so don't go anywhere. Alright guys, so to answer the topic question, we're going to have to determine what it means to have good genetics in the first place. So in Mountain Dog 1, or John Meadows, rest in peace to John Meadows, he has a video, I think it was posted about a year ago, but it is called Do You Have Good Genetics? And it outlined how to determine whether you have good genetics, your brother, whoever. And he went over 8 points. So 8 different points to look at. And some of them are very, not very many people think of them. So number 1 is their calves, your neck, your forearms. Like if they're naturally really thick already, unlike myself, I'm an ecto. I rank high on the ecto scale. So unlike myself, I've got like wimpy forearms, but I grew up on a farm pretty strong, but still I've not been able to develop very much forearm muscle, even though I can deadlift over almost 500 pounds. So the thing is, in my neck, it has grown tremendously since I started working out, but I still don't have that oak tree neck that you see on some of these 10-5, and I call them that because they're a 10 on the mesomorph scale and a 5 on the ectomorph scale, so they have it like perfect. Maybe a 1 on the endomorph scale. Number 2 is body composition, which is somatotype, which is what we were just talking about, but we'll get more in depth in that later on in the video. Number 3 is the natural V-taper a person has. So even if you're a mesomorph, even if you're an ectomorph, that doesn't always mean that you're going to have the same frame as other ectomorphic people. Everybody's bone structures are different, everybody's muscle inserts are different, so what you're given is what you have to work with. So, and once you can identify what your weaknesses are, it makes it a lot easier to isolate them and to focus on them and catch them up to the rest of your progress. So, I hope that makes sense. Number 4 is distribution of body fat throughout your body. Some people, like myself included, I got up to 208 pounds, and I think I was either 20 or 21% body fat for sure, and I still had visible abs, but I had these huge love handles, and I just felt like groggy, my face was puffy, and I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. So y'all go check out my previous videos to figure out how I went from 208 at 20% to where I'm at now, which is about 195. And I'm probably close to 13% body fat now, and just feel so much better, by the way. So number 5 is high pain tolerance. So your pain tolerance is something that is genetic. Some people just naturally have more tolerance for pain. So if you have more tolerance for pain, then you're more likely to push yourself harder and past certain barriers in your training. You're more likely to go to failure, go past failure. Just the main thing, like Coach Greg says, is to go harder than last time. You don't want to overdo it on your first day. You want to start small, like microscopic. Like, if you've been out of shape for 10 years, start by doing either going for a walk if you can't do push-ups. If you can do push-ups, do like 20 push-ups. That's my recommendation. Let's move on. So number 6 is mental disposition. And that refers to discipline and your work ethic. And this is how hard you're willing to work. I feel like it's somewhat genetic and somewhat maybe how you're raised. Number 7 is recovery speed, and this is something that I get into arguments on Instagram and maybe even YouTube comments, even though I try not to. I don't want to call them arguments, just kind of like a lighthearted debate, if you will. People saying things like rest days are for pussies or something like that, you know, and I'm like, well, there's different ways to look at it. So if you're training like a pussy in the gym, and then you take a rest day, then you're being a pussy. But if you're training so hard, going to failure, absolutely pushing it to the limits of your central nervous system and your cardiovascular system, you know, just making sure everything is, you know, ready to go, refuel and repair, then it's, you know, it's adequate to, or it's necessary to take a rest day because you need to rest. So that's just one thing that really gets under my skin, because everybody is going to heal differently. People think that using anabolics, yes, they will help some people way more than others. It depends on how they respond, and we'll get to that later on. But people think that if they get on gear, they'll be able to work out every day. And if your genetics aren't in your favor on the recovery aspect, then you're likely not going to be able. I mean, you will see an improvement in recovery, but you won't see such an improvement as you're expecting to see. Like for a hyper responder will see a tremendous improvement. But for more information on that, you'll have to go talk to Derek. I just know the basics. Alright guys, so number 8 is responsiveness to a training stimulus, which is how well your muscles respond to training. So some people, their muscles will hyper respond to a training stimulus. So they can get, you know, huge biceps. You'll see the people with good genetics. So they'll just do some curls and maybe some push-ups, and they're just jacked. They look like they spend 7 days a week, 2 hours in the gym, and they're blasting everything inside, but it's really just genetics. So those are the main ways to determine whether or not you have good genetics. It's not, oh, you're an ectomorph, so you're fucked. Well, I mean, I thought that for a long time until I discovered Coach Greg and his video titled How to Train and Eat Based on Your Somatotype, or body composition and or body type. So I click this video and I start watching, and I'm already liking the guy because he's like straight up 100%. You know, this was back when I had first discovered Coach Greg, so we're talking over a year ago now. But Coach Greg, not only is he a renowned bodybuilder, world record breaking power lifter, but he's also managed to get, oh yeah, and he's also an anabolic chef, let's not forget that, but he's also managed to get a master's degree in kinesiology. So I think he probably knows what he's talking about when it comes to this stuff. So he explains that there are indeed different somatotypes, so different body types, but it's not just like you're an ectomorph and that's it. You're a mesomorph and that's it. It's on a spectrum. Everybody is on a spectrum of each. So for myself, I think I'm probably like a 3 or 4 maybe on the mesomorph, maybe 4 if I'm lucky. On ectomorph, I'm probably upwards of 7 or 8, and on endomorph, maybe a 1 or a 2. So just everybody's on a spectrum. So
some people are arguing with proper training and diet, if you're an ectomorph, you could still gain muscle, and so that turns you into a mesomorph. And so by changing your body, that proves there's no such thing as somatotype. It does not prove that at all. It just says that you are in fact not a pure ectomorph.
Basically, that destroys Jim Bro's little theory that you saw at the beginning of the video. All right, guys, so now that we know how to identify whether someone has good genetics or bad genetics, we can, and we've also verified that genetics do in fact play a major role in whether somebody is able to accumulate muscle mass quickly or slowly, or lose weight quickly or slowly. So now that we know all that, we can finally answer the topic question, which is, why do so many people think that genetics don't matter? Well, my personal opinion, which is backed by several other fitness influencers, is that people with good genetics are going to think that genetics don't matter, because for them, it was all easy. It didn't matter what they ate. It was just, as long as they worked hard in the gym and lifted heavy like they said, you know, and tore their ligaments and, you know, had injuries all the time probably, that they grew. And then they end up a lot of the time having excess body fat, which is really bad for your organs, and it's very stressful on your organs and your heart and everything overall. A lot of the Jim Bro mentality, I call it what is it called? The bro science. So the bro science guys are the ones that, you know, they're the ones that are pushing this genetics don't matter shit. You gotta eat big to get big and lift heavy to get big, you know, just whatever they're trying to say. As far as the science it comes into it, it doesn't line up at all. So let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. If you found any value in this video, please leave a like and maybe even hit that subscribe button if you don't think I'm a total asshole like most people. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next week.